Hello there, this is Erin Weed coming at you from GFB TV. I wanted to start off today by thanking so many people for, first of all, watching the first episode last week of GFB TV, and of so many of those people who watched it, so many people reached out via Facebook and emailed me and Twitter. They were spreading the link around and also just sharing their own personal stories, and I haven't gotten back to all of you yet. It's been a really crazy week, but I just want to say thank you. It's obviously a very personal journey for me, this whole processing of this time of year, and you know what I found was interesting is that so many people have these painful anniversaries, and they may be about having lost a loved one or something painful that's happened in their life, but it seems that a lot of people seem to attach a day to pain, and that can be a real big challenge. So I wanted to start off today by sharing with you a little fortune that I recently got, and it was in my fortune cookie. Actually, maybe my husband's fortune cookie, but you know, we share fortunes. We choose whichever one we like better. So this particular one said, "Your troubles will cease and fortune smile upon you." And I'm one of those weirdos that really believes in fortune cookies. Like, there's nothing random about fortune cookies to me. Like, it means something big. It's even got some lucky numbers on here. Lottery. But I've actually put that on my bathroom mirror because I think it's very important that every day we think about that day and the positive things that it can bring. So what I want to talk about here today at GFB TV is actually part 2 of Get Your Peace Back, because what so many people had emailed me was their stories, and then they wanted to know how my little formula worked in replacing old feelings and old hang-ups with new things. So let me tell you how it went down. So on the morning of June 12th, I woke up, and as you know, if you watched the first episode of GFB TV, I used to feel on every June 12th, the anniversary of Shannon McNamara's murder, I used to feel like death and very vulnerable. So this year I wanted to replace the word death with life, and I wanted to replace vulnerable with girl power. So in order to replace death with life, I was going to go on a hike with my 9-month-old son Miles, and I was going to kind of symbolize life with nature and the way that Miles looks through his own eyes to see this crazy world. So that was going to be my morning. And I was really looking forward to it, and we recently acquired this really great little kid backpack that I was going to try out for the first time with Miles. So I wake up, and immediately I feel that there's this chill in the air that is very unusual for Colorado. And so I go and I look out the window, and I'm the first one awake, and I see it has just been pouring all night. Everything is just like wet and soggy, and it's freezing. And then soon thereafter, Miles wakes up, and he is screaming. He's got a tooth coming in, so he's teething, and he's angry and sad. And I have this moment of panic where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to replace death with life today. Like, how can I do this if it's pouring outside and my baby's unhappy and obviously not wanting to go on a hike? And I really had that moment of panic because for so long I've been building up to this, and this was going to be my coping technique. So I'm really disappointed, and I start to kind of like feel that inner like deep despair of disappointment and wondering how I'm going to cope through the day. And I stop myself, and I realized, you know what? What represents life more than plans changing, than disappointment, than things not turning out how you had expected? And maybe I should let go of that a little bit and maybe see what the day has to offer me. Maybe there is a reason for all this. So I ended up grabbing Miles from his crib and taking care of him, and because he was going through all the teething stuff, he was feeling a little more cuddly and more needy than usual and just wanting to sleep. And so I found that a majority of the day on June 12th, I spent listening to the rain with the windows open while cuddling with my baby as he slept in my arms. And I realized that it's been a very long time since that's happened, probably since he was a little infant, and I realized what a gift that was. What symbolizes life more than listening to the rain on the roof while soothing your baby to sleep. And I was really grateful for it. So my day went really well. And then it came time for the evening, and of course, because of the rain and all that stuff, our plans to go downtown Denver and get hooched up and, you know, have a great time and go to the movies kind of got stomped a little bit. So what we decided to do instead, me and my friends Chris and Liz, we went to a suburban movie theater. We did not really get glammed up. We had our rain gear on instead. We went for some hibachi steak at a Japanese steakhouse, which was delicious, and we had sake martinis, which was fantastic. And then we saw Sex and the City 2, which I found to be a little bit disappointing, a little bit of a drag. The first one I thought was so girl power and strong and everything like that, but, you know, it was, again, a reminder of it's not the movie that was going to save my day. It's not the movie that represented girl power on June 12th for me. It was being there with two of my favorite girls in Colorado, and that support and that energy that you get from being together. And it wouldn't have mattered if, you know, we were doing whatever, going getting our car washed. I mean, that's girl power, to go and hang out with people that you really love and enjoy. So June 12th turned out really, really well for me, I'm happy to say. And the lesson that I've learned that I would just like to share with you on GFB TV here today is that, especially if you have these painful anniversaries, we can do our best to try to cope with it and plan it, but sometimes we have to take the day that is given to us and have peace with that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Tune in next week for GFB TV.